let's go ahead and look at creating a new wall type. So for this particular problem here, we needed to create a wall type that has a stucco exterior finish. And we do not have one of those wall types in our selection here. So what I'm going to do is start with an exterior wood siding on a wood stud, and I'm going to modify that and make that have an exterior finish. So this right here, I've got the little preview here. This will show the actual detail of the wall, noticing that we're working from the exterior to the interior. So with that closed, I'm going to go ahead and go over here and duplicate the wall type. I don't want to change my original wall. I want to duplicate it and then modify. So instead of saying wood siding, I'm just going to put stucco on the wood stud, and I'm going to get rid of that too at the very end. So I'm creating a new wall type. After I do create the exterior name, what I want to do is go into the edit mode, and then I'm going to have to start changing some of the layers around in order to create a correct preview. So this is the exterior side, this is the interior. So the very first thing I want to get rid of is this exterior siding. I want this to be my stucco, and when I look through my list here, I don't have stucco, so I'm going to have to add that. In order to add that, I'm going to click on this little button down here and expand out that little arrow and click on Create New Material. When it creates a new material, it prompts me with a default new material, and I'm going to right click on that and I'm going to rename it. So I'm renaming this to stucco. So the stucco was not listed in my original set of materials, like the default materials. It would be impossible for Revit to have all of those materials listed here. But it is, we're able to add them as we need them for different things. So as part of the materials, we want to change like the appearance of the stucco. So if I click on the Appearance tab, I'm going to want to go into the Appearance section and find the appearance for stucco. So clicking on this little button right here, this opens and closes. That opens up the asset browser, and I'm trying to not put these too many things on here, but anyway. So I'm going to just type in the word stucco. There, oops, hit the C, not the V. Alright, so I've got the several different stucco appearances, so I'm going to just pick this one right here. There is a coarse appearance, but I'm just going to go with the standard one. Once I click on that, see this little button right here, we do need to click on that so it replaces the current asset in the editor with this one. So I click on that, and then this changes. Now right now the color for the stucco is a basic white, and you can reassign the color. So this is the original, here's your new color. And if I want to make this more of a creamy stucco or a gray, you can move that over. You can go over here and click on like the different grays. So just depending on what the color is, you can find something that probably will satisfy you. And if you do different ones, you may want to then change cream stucco, gray stucco, if it's something that you're using a lot of, or just change the appearance for each one. So I'm just going to hit OK. That stucco changes, and now we have our stucco finish. I'm going to close out of this one, and I'm going to hit Apply for that to take there, and I want to click on this stucco, and now that stucco is listed right here. So the stucco is 3/4 of an inch. That just happens to be the dimension as well, so I'm not going to have to change anything there. The next thing after the stucco is going to be metal metal thickness. It's 1 inch thickness of metal, and it's kind of like a mesh type surface that allows the stucco to adhere to it. So I need to insert a new item here. So I'm just going to click on this, and I'm just going to scroll down and look and see what type of steel. Let's just I'll just pick the steel right here. It doesn't need to be anything. It's just like a galvanized steel. So I'm going to hit OK and put that in, and that's going to be 1 inch thick. So that is located there, and then so that you can see is that's the steel or the stucco netting that would the stucco is going to be adherent to. After that, I'm just taking a minute to look at my wall section here. So the wall section required the vapor barrier, so I'm going to scroll down and find vapor barrier. So this would be like a waterproofing vapor barrier, so then that way you don't have the water or the moisture getting into the plywood. So I'm going to put that on this right here, and I think this has to be about a 32nd of an inch. So I'm going to put that there. The plywood is still going to stay a 1/2 inch, so that's the sheathing. And then the rest of this information is probably going to be the same. So you have a 5 1/2 inch softwood, that's for your 2x4 stud, and everything else is going to be the same. So I'm going to hit OK. And so the membrane layer function requires 0 thickness, and that's on row 3. Oh, so it does want 0 thickness. All right, so we'll just go back and make that 0. And layer 4 cannot. From the core boundary to the finish face. So that's on 4. So let's put that on structure. There we go. So just made that little last change. So on the 4th line, it was saying it was a problem with maybe it stayed as the core boundary, but I just made the plywood, made sure that it said it was under structure, and then changing that, everything looks like this one's probably supposed to be a finish. We'll just leave it there since it did accept it. So that's the preview of the wall type. So there's all of your different items. You can toggle that back and forth. We've got the stucco on the wood side. We've got our wall thicknesses there. So I'm going to just go ahead and hit OK. And now I can go back and reassign these exterior. Oops, let me get a little save here. So if I started off with just a generic wall type, so now I'm going to click on that wall type and go down and find my stucco on wood siding, and I'm going to update that. It's going to change the wall thicknesses. Okay, so I should have selected both of those walls, but I didn't. So for this project, 2 of the exterior walls were the stucco on the wood surface, and then remember that the other 2 walls on this particular project were interior walls, as we are working on an apartment that's going to be in a larger building. So this is just one apartment area. So that's the reason for these 2 walls being interior, and that's because of the fact that those are going to be an apartment. So that's it for how to create the new wall type. Make sure you go back and assign, make sure you have all of your interior walls shown, and you have that set up.